Hello, welcome back to Blackburn Museum and Art Gallery and to another of the oddities from our collections. In this case, not the latest piece of fashion, as you might have imagined, rather it's a set or part of a set of World War I German sapanzer or trench armour. So, if I just take this off and we can have a closer look at it and go into some of the background to this story. So World War I is the world's first truly industrialised war, and one thing that shocks all the combatants is the casualties, the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of men who were killed and injured. So very quickly, everybody starts to try and think, well, how can we protect these men? And the idea turns to body armour, and so frantic experiments take place. But only one type of body armour is actually adopted by everybody, and that's the steel helmet. First of all, the French with their Adrien in 1915, followed by the German Stahlhelm the same year, and finally the British issue the Brodie in early 1916. So, in the end, there's actually only one piece of true body armour that's adopted in any numbers, and that's this piece, the sapanzer. The main piece is this breastplate that protects the torso, and then there were a further 3 plates that hung down over the abdomen and the groin, and finally there was a thick metal brow piece that hung over the horns on the steel helmet. So, how did it actually work? Well, I'm going to take it off again because it really is quite constricting. In this picture, you can see a sentry wearing a full set, and you can see that the throat is protected by the armour being flared outwards to protect the wearer's throat from shell splinters or bullets that might ricochet off the armour. You can see from these 2 rivets on the front of the armour, quite distinctive, and if I turn it round, you can see that these hold the 2 clasps. That through the gap here you would have had a webbing strap coming down, and the extra pieces of armour were attached to those webbing straps. Some trench raiders may also have worn them, and you can see from this picture of this intrepid fellow clutching a hand grenade, he's missing the piece of armour off the helmet, which was very difficult to wear, and he may actually be using it as part of a trench raiding team. But that's fairly specialist, that's not the normal battlefield. You can also see when we look at this, especially on the inside, you can see traces of the original grey-green paint, which is nice to see. That was the standard paint colour issued for a lot of German equipment at the time. And they were made by 2 companies, Krupp and Essen. You do see them with maker's marks, but there are none on this. The only thing is this stenciled 2 here, which may have something to do with the manufacturer. I just don't know. The big problem with this armour is its weight. As you can see, it's about 20 kilograms. The whole set is very, very heavy, and you cannot run around a battlefield toting all your equipment and this amount of weight. The other big problem is, if you can imagine, if you try to fire your rifle wearing this, it's very, very difficult to hold the rifle, and even if you were successful when you fired it, it would simply skid off the armour, making it impossible to aim accurately. It is going to be used from fixed positions, a sentry post or a man sat behind a machine gun, in an emplacement. That's where they were meant to be used. And then the last question we have to ask ourselves is, well, just how good was it? After the war, there were many tests carried out on the armour, and they proved that even at close range, it was pretty much proof against a pistol bullet. But rifle bullets were a different matter. It would only protect you if the firer fired the bullet from 400-500 yards away. And that is, battlefield ranges are well inside that. So it would have given you no effective protection from rifle bullets fired at close range, none whatsoever. So therefore it just remained with that one very specialist purpose. So, an unusual piece, and one that very rarely sees the light of day, so it's ideal for a video such as this. I do hope you've enjoyed this short story on this unusual object. If you have, don't forget to tune in next time for more Tales from the Collection. Bye-bye.